Chair Guru.
Here.
All present. Thank you.
And to the republic for which it stands,
May speak. All items listed There will be no separate action unless members of the commission request specific items be removed from the consent calendar. We'll start with Corinne. Do you have any to pull?
I would like to pull C and I.
Shane?
No, none.
Bill?
None.
Jason?
Yes, I would like to pull.
Okay, and I would like to pull C. So on the rest of those, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the rest of the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second.
Vote to approve the remaining consent calendar items. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter?
Yes.
Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Guru.
Yes.
The motion passes. Thank you.
Corinne, we will start with you, please.
Okay, so for parks and public facilities, just a couple of comments, but the playground equipment options, those look amazing. So yay, super excited that those are coming in. And the cleanup, we don't ever hear a lot of information about the cleanup on the V ditches in our open space areas. We do get a lot of complaints about those, so it was nice to see that that's being done in a early kind of fashion and getting that squared away. My question, it was noted at the top, some of our facilities are open, but public restrooms are closed at all of our parks, and that has been an issue on public forums. I've gotten a couple of phone calls on it that all of the park restrooms are closed, so I have done some explaining as far as, governor's rules. We cannot clean them after everyone uses them kind of information, but is there a way for us to look at that and make some changes possibly?
Thank you. Yes, in a meeting today we discussed reopening some of the restrooms with the intent and mandatory basically having to clean them. They have to be kept clean in order to meet guidelines, and it was pretty simple. The feces and such in front of the restrooms is as dangerous. It's as dangerous or more so than having the facilities open. So the heavy use facilities, typically the larger ones such as Pikes Peak and Neil Snipes, we will be opening the restrooms and will be cleaned 3 times a day. So what we'll do is our contracted service will open them and clean them. We will sanitize them with our devices that we have to disinfect before lunch, and then again in the afternoon with our evening shift that comes in at 4. So we will be opening, at least for now, the 2 large restrooms at both large facilities. We'll see how that goes. If I can extend it more and be able to have staff It's just a lot of work, and we're trying to figure out and schedule staff accordingly so we can alleviate any of the issues we've currently seen on public forums.
That was going to be my next question. Is there a way to have, normally, like, park staff will go in, lock, unlock gates, then lock them back up in the evening, that kind of thing? And is there, because we're not opening all of the parks, or if parks are open, is staff just not getting out and checking those facilities because they are not being in use? Is there a way for us to make sure that let's have them check daily to make sure that they're not unclean outside of the bathroom?
Yes, and that was a topic we discussed as well. Our contracted partner passed cleaning up the mounds. We will be purchasing some coverings for the pitching mounds at home plate, because we will be adding some clay. So we do want to make sure there's a few things that we want to incorporate that we hope will help alleviate some of the holes and the different stuff that builds up. But we are going to incorporate some clay into the pitching mound and the home plates. So we are looking at buying some covers and trying to keep things covered from the irrigation. Hopefully that'll be a benefit. Obviously that's our goal. We've done a lot of work at fixing irrigation that we have. It hasn't worked for a long time. And one of those examples for me is field 3.
Yes,
It's really, really bad in the outfield. And the valve was found, so hooray. But we're trying to make steps in the right direction, get heads raised and leveled. Brightview, like I said, we've got a lot of different, doing gypsum, fertilizer, seeding, so there's a lot of things going on. But it's all for naught if you don't have water evenly spread. So we should have overseeded Bermuda grass, a lip all the way around the outer arc, so we can, and then we're bringing in a bunch of new, spent a lot of time on looking at what type of brick dust to use. Different ones will have more moisture hold, and as you probably know better than I. But our inspector's got a lot of background in that, so we're trying to pick the right product so we're all on the same page and using the same product going forward.
Well, and then if you do change out that product, and make sure you can get a compatible absorbent and all that, and let the leagues know this is the approved
Correct. Yeah,
absorbent and field dust that we are putting on the field, so they don't mix in their own.
And if and when we can afford to do a remodel or a master plan, we can incorporate, because basically the more you spend in the brick dust, the more maintenance it needs, the more labor it takes to keep the moisture in. Some of the skin fields are putting in the irrigation to water just to keep the moisture level for the brick dust. So we're trying to find a happy medium, so it's not a ton of extra work for the leagues ourselves. But Brightview is actually bringing this company on, and they will continue. It's not just a one-time thing and we're done. They're actually signing them up to do a general maintenance, so it's monthly. So it's not once a year we fix it and let it go. We're continually adding maintenance and trying to keep the level that we hope to bring it up to in the next couple weeks. Try and keep it there.
Perfect.
So a lot of brick dust, and I have asked Brightview to give us a tentative schedule for the leagues and such, so they know and they're aware, because we will be starting Monday of next week, and we'll see how it goes. They're going to bring in a bin, they're going to keep their equipment on site, and we'll order brick dust as we go, and hopefully it goes good.
Sounds great. Thank you, Todd.
All right, me on C. So the V-ditch has got my attention. Corridon staging area, northwest corner,
Okay.
over by the old water treatment plant.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, I know it is.
It's supposed to be a road going in there to get access that's still out of ways. But yes, it's very bad. I will definitely look into that.
It's getting to the point now where if they fall in there,
They're gone.
well, it might take a little bit to get them out.
Their vehicle too.
Yeah. Okay. That's all for C. I will entertain a motion on C.
Motion to approve item C.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second on C.
Vote to receive and file item 2C, the Department Operations Report for Parks and Public Buildings. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter?
Yes.
Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Guru.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
We will move to item C of the consent calendar. Jason?
E?
Or E, I mean, E.
Oh, sorry, I'm dealing with my phone. I didn't want to print all this. Mr. Sparks, the shelter improvements. I was looking at the next project that will be starting and creating a microchip procedure to comply with the new microchipping law that goes into effect January 1st, 2022. So my question is kind of about the law a little bit. I've never heard that they was going to start mandatory microchipping.
Yes, that's for dogs and cats that enter and exit the shelter. So it's not for just around town. We did think about that, but right now we really want to focus on what comes in and then exit the shelter. That way we can work on getting them home. We already have a very good what would I say, like rating on getting things back to their owners. We just want to up it a little bit more.
Okay, so any of the animals that come in and out of the shelter will
Correct.
automatically get microchipped, or just the ones you're adopting out?
So the law will put it as there's a couple things. If they're being adopted, then they can go out. If it's somebody's animal that got lost and then we're redeeming it to them, they have an option of either put on their financial hardship, or they want to take it to a vet, or if the vet give them a letter saying that it's not good for their health to be microchipped.
Okay. All right, that's all I had. Thank you.
No problem.
So I'll make a motion, or I'll entertain a motion on E.
I'll make a motion that we receive and file E.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion and a second on E.
Okay, excuse me. Vote to receive and file item 2E, the Department Operations Report for Animal Control Services. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter?
Yes.
Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Guru.
Yes.
A motion passed. Thank you.
So our last item on the consent calendar would be I. Corinne?
Okay, so I just had some follow-up because I asked about this at the last meeting, and then the draft minutes are here for sports advisory on the residency issue, and it's still really entertaining, and it's not anybody's fault, because we have volunteers that come and go that are, president, vice president. They are not always all the same people, but just reading through this, and I'm really glad that Richard Boyle, our past sports advisory commissioner here, is the chair of that. And I noted Boersma's comments here as well, that this has been a really long-standing issue, and I don't know what information that the board members have been given as far as, here's an update, we still need your information, we need your feedback. Because just reading this, it sounds like they are still lacking information, like they don't know what to do, they're not sure how to proceed. And it could just be the minutes, so I was hoping for some clarification. I absolutely approve of the idea that 2021 is like a do-over. So, not something that would go to council to look for residency rates. 2020 and 21 are going to be a little awkward. But yeah, it's really, it's hard to figure out. It's hard to get it squared away, but it has been years. So it just seems like there was still a lot of issues with the understanding and concept of this issue.
I'd be happy to address that. The organizations have been thoroughly informed of the purpose of this process. This last meeting, actually the last two sports advisory meetings, Junior All-American Football was not in attendance on phone. They are the one organization who is going to probably be impacted the most, and we have provided them multiple emails, reminders to get their information to us. I think at the last meeting we had some quite good communication and discussion regarding this issue. And what the direction is for staff right now is we are going to work with the subcommittee members to solidify some options, take it back to the committee, make a decision, and then move forward to bring it back to commission. We're not going to sit idle on this anymore. However, with the comment of the 2021 season, it was recommended because there's so much uncertainty right now with if they're going to even be playing, what the residency rates are going to be looking like, that we have pulled that off of their agreement for this season, and we'll bring it back after we deliberate all of this information and figure out what the best option is. With the last discussion, it seemed like all the organizations there were pretty in agreement to do a flat rate across the board for non-residency. What that non-residency rate will be, we don't know yet. We had discussions that of $5 for non-resident, but then we had somebody call a friend from Riverside and they were paying $15 for a non-resident fee. So that's something that, you know, the intent is not to break or fold any organization. So we want to make sure that we do due diligence to work with them and find out what the impacts are, how it's going to be received, and if those costs can be passed through costs to the participants as well. So that will be coming up here quickly with the subcommittee members to put out some notes of some ideas, bring it back if we have to do a special meeting with the Youth Sports Advisory Committee, and then bring it back to the commission.
Thank you. And we did have, one of the considerations was sort of a scaled rate. So the first year would be whatever percentage and there would be a rate, and the following subsequent years could have an increased rate or something to that effect. So, and again, we don't want anyone not to be able to play. So, you know, I think the organizations coming up with the option of a flat rate, it kind of helps everyone because it spreads the wealth a little bit so that, you know, people aren't all paying or having to pay something that they can't afford. But the $5 flat rate is, you know, not a huge increase. So it seems something that would be workable. And if the commission or the subcommittee or council felt that that needed to be increased at a later date, it's something that can always be brought back. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
So I would entertain a motion to approve this item.
Also move to approve, or to approve and file, I guess.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Vote to receive and file item 2I, private use sports update. Chair, Commissioner Holder,
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Porter,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boersma,
Yes.
and Chair Grew.
Yes,
Motion passed. Thank you.
thank you. So we're on item 4, commission action items.
Yes, Chair, and members of commission. Before you tonight is the Norco Little League Youth Sports Facilities Agreement and the concession agreement for approval. Each year, the Youth Sports Facility Agreement and the concession agreement are reviewed for any necessary revisions before issuing permits for the use of the fields for the youth sports organizations. Staff and Norco Little League Representative Minich reviewed the documents on November 23rd, 2020. These documents were also reviewed by Youth Sports Subcommittee members Boersma and Porter, City Attorney, and PERMA Risk Management. Updates to the facilities agreement include based on the changing trends, which I just addressed, in the organization's registration of participants, it might be unlikely that the organization will meet the 51% residency rate. Therefore, the city is waiving this requirement for the 2021 traditional season until further analysis can be obtained. Facilities infrastructure fee was increased to $4. That was based off of City Council's fee resolution. Per permit recommendations, the city has added new language regarding compliance with applicable laws, rules, regulations to paragraph 9 of the agreement, and this strictly deals mainly because of COVID-19. And also the president's name was changed in the agreement. Updates to the concession agreement include the increase in commercial general liability from $1 million to $2 million, added new language regarding compliance with the applicable law, rules, and regulations to paragraph 23 of the agreement, and again, the change in the president's name. After commission approval, staff will meet with the organization to obtain their representative signature on the agreement, which will bind them to the guidelines, terms, and conditions in which they must fulfill and comply with the exchange for use of the Wayne Macon Shire Sports Complex and other City of Norco sports facilities. The details of the agreement are specific to the organization, and its purpose is that of a working tool. Staff will continue to evaluate the content and value of the agreement each year as it pertains to the use of the above-mentioned facilities. And at this time, staff is looking for approval of the facilities agreement and concession agreement. Is there any questions that anybody has?
Yes, I did have a couple of questions. Being somewhat new on the Parks and Recreation Commission, maybe you could explain to me a little bit about the facilities infrastructure fee. Is there a specific fund that is placed into so that things are done? Or it's the first time I've heard of it, so I'd like to be enlightened a little bit.
Certainly. The facility infrastructure fee is a fee that they pay per use of the field, and it does go into a balanced fund for infrastructure replacement or repairs or such. A good example of the infrastructure fees that were received from the organizations was used to purchase or replace their concession equipment in the snack bar. So that is earmarked for those uses.
Okay. The second question that I had was in reviewing the contracts that you have here for the Little League. I noticed that the actual contract language did not change the insurance from $1 million to $2 million. It did not show it. It showed as $1 million only. Now, in the girls' part, it did show $2 million. So I just thought, are we being even-handed here or what?
That is probably an oversight, and we will have to make that adjustment before it gets signature and executed.
That's
Thank
all
you for
I had.
pointing that out.
Are there any other comments?
Any other comments?
So say I will move to approve the Little League facility use agreement and concession agreement.
I'll second that.
Barring any other questions?
I have a motion and a second.
Okay, vote to approve Norco Little League Youth Sports Facilities Agreement and Concession Agreement as with the changes noted. Commissioner Holder,
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Porter,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boersma,
Yes.
and Chair Giroux.
Yes.
Motion passed, thank you.
We will move to item B on commission action items. Approval of Norco Girls Softball Facility Use Agreement and Concession.
Thank you. Before you tonight is, again, the youth sports facility agreement and concession agreement for approval for Norco Girls Softball for the 2021 season. The same recommendations and changes to both of those agreements are exactly like Norco Little League. It's the residency rate will be removed. The infrastructure fee was changed. The contact information for Brightview was updated in this one, it looks like. And then the new language for the compliance with applicable laws, rules, and regulations is included. And to the concession agreement, the commercial general liability went from $1 million to $2 million, and added the new language for the compliance with applicable laws, rules, and regulations due to COVID-19. At this time, we are looking for Commission's approval on the facilities agreement and concession agreement for Norco Girls Softball 2021 season.
Are there any questions from the commission?
Okay.
Yeah, reading through it real quick. Bill was, I think, had the two mixed up. Bill's girls softball that doesn't have the 2 million, not Norco Little League.
Sure.
Just reading through it real quick. Just so you have it.
I will double check both of those and make sure that they're
but we
accurate.
understand it's 2 million.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion and
second.
a second. Item 4B.
Vote to approve Norco Girls Softball Youth Sports Facility Agreement and concession agreements. Commissioner Holder,
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Porter,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boersma,
Yes.
Chair Giroux.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Item 5, staff and subcommittee reports. Item A, special events subcommittee report. Michelle?
Thank you. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the recent special events. Unbelievably, we have had some with COVID-19, and it has been a challenging year, but I'm super proud of staff and volunteers who've made the pivot and are bringing events to the community as best as we possibly can. First up is Norco's Community Christmas. Although this year felt a little bit different, we were not able to gather together for the traditional breakfast with Santa, Parade of Lights, and Christmas Festival. Staff did pivot, and we presented the Horsetown Community Christmas with cheerful events and activities hosted throughout the month of December leading up to the week of Christmas. First off, included the Letters to Santa drop-off station, which local youth were invited to mail their letters to Santa, and in turn they received a personal video back to the child. So I wanted to give you a quick little preview of one of those videos.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Vincent! I just wanted you to know that I got your letter here at the North Pole. So the elves and I have been checking it, and we've been looking at it twice to make sure you haven't been naughty, but nice. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you on Christmas Day. Happy holidays! Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho!
I have to tell you that day filming was amazing, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. The second portion was the drive-through illuminated display at the community center that started on December 12th and ran through the first of the year. Individuals were able to drive through the community center and view the lights from 5 to 10 p.m. The next item for the community Christmas is the Fa La 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 photo contest. Residents submitted festive photos and entered into the St. Nick's sweater decorating contest, which we didn't have any entries in that one. We had a Twinkle and Tinsel tree decorating contest, a Holly Jolly house decorating contest, and we actually added one at the end because somebody sent a picture of their animal dressed up. So we called it the Prancer and Dancer's Pet Costume Contest. And you have a little sheet here that has the winners on it in front of you. And then we had a Popcorn in the Park featuring Elf. It was at a drive-through movie where they experienced a classic and socially distanced outdoor movie night with their families. Every vehicle received a Horsetown USA souvenir gift from Santa and Mrs. Claus. And Home Depot also donated craft kits for all the kids to build. So we had a ton of craft kits there. And I have one picture to show you of Santa welcoming people with their little souvenir Horsetown USA stocking and goodies inside. Staff would like to thank the generous sponsors for these events: Caliber Collision, Grocery Outlet, Home Depot, Little Caesars, Norco Armory, Norco Horsemen's Association, Norco Kiwanis Club, Premium Autos, and RPM Centerless Grinding. And staff would also like to thank Commission and the subcommittee volunteers to help on the special events for your support and your engagement. We appreciate it. Any questions on those special events?
Well, two things really. One, the banners are still up on 6th Street. When are those coming down?
They were scheduled to come down last week, and the contractor called, and they had to move some of their workforce to another area that had precedence over it, and so they're supposed to be taking it down the first of this week. So it should be, I'm assuming tomorrow, but I'll check base with them again to make sure it's either today or tomorrow.
And also for the Elf movie, we had good pre-sale, but what was the actual numbers? Because they look kind of light.
The numbers for the sale of the tickets was 104 registered, but not everybody showed up. Yeah.
Was there some confusion, I think, over whether they were going to have the event or not have the event? I know that I knew people that had tickets, and then they were notified, no, it wasn't going to happen, and then a few days later they got a notification, no, it's going to go on. So
I can't speculate if they were confused or not, but we did reach out to every single person who registered online via email, and I believe they also made some phone calls, but we did reach out to them and notify them, and then there was the social media that went out as well.
I know on the Friday before, there was folks showing up thinking it was that Friday instead of Saturday, so that did put a little confusion into it.
Right.
And I just wanted to comment that, like, staff has done an amazing job trying to come up with new fun events. And I know that via social media and having the lights at the community center, people were going through and like they were posting photos. So they were looking for communities and areas that they could go view lights, that they could keep their kids in the car and do something social distanced. So I know that people from outside of the community actually came through and looked at the lights and got to take photos and stuff. So that was really nice. But still, great job on all the creative options to keep families having some fun.
Bill, you had a question?
Well, some comments actually. First of all, I'd like to thank staff for all the things they did to try to make Christmas a little more holly jolly. I know that there were a lot of things that we would have liked to have done, weren't able to do. I made 2 trips through the display over at the community center, and I'm sorry to say that I was the only vehicle there going through at those times. I was kind of very disappointed that nobody else was, taking advantage of it, and I kind of tried to pick in the middle of the time to hopefully, see people. Nobody was there. The first time I went through, everything was all lit up and great. The second time I went through, only about half of it was functional. I don't know what was going on, if there was somebody come in and stolen extension cords or what it was, but
there was actual multiple nights where we found cords had been unplugged. At one point, it looked as if somebody was trying to
sabotage it.
Take the spider box. So there were some challenges with that, but I think for the most part, I was relying also on staff at night if they were some out to do some troubleshooting. I know my husband and I went out there 2 nights to do troubleshooting. I think Todd went out there also and did some troubleshooting. So it was, running cords from some multiple areas and having a lot of pedestrians walking through there at that location at night is also challenging.
Yeah. No, because the first time I went through, it was fairly well, displayed, and then the second time I went through, I was taking a guest from out of town to go through and see the lights, and I said, well, I'm sorry, I guess something's wrong here. But then on your stuff here with the rest of the lights and things within the community, I really want to recognize that we had a number of people in the community go all out on decorating their homes. We took 4 nights and covered different sections in the city. and to try to up and down almost every street. And actually during those times I saw a lot of golf carts out with Christmas lights touring the city. But that we have some really fantastic innovative people in town that have done some fantastic jobs with the lighting, and I would like to see Parks and Recreation maybe tie into one of the people over here on, I think it's Broken Twig or Broken Lance, that they actually had it set up over just like you do at your shows at the Ingalls, where you have a radio station and they're broadcasting music and their lights were synchronized to the music, and I mean to tell you, they did an outstanding job. And then there was some place up here on, I think it's Ponderosa or whatever, that just some of these guys were just fantastic.
Yeah.
So the community just went all out. One last thing on that, I went out the day before Christmas knowing that usually I can go out and get sale items on lights, and there just wasn't any to be had anywhere.
We actually went to multiple places to get more lights, and they were sold out everywhere. They said they have never seen a year like this Christmas with Christmas lights, because people were staying home and they wanted to decorate their houses. So that was nice to see. Any other questions or comments?
That it?
Thank you.
Okay, so 5B, Senior and Human Services Subcommittee Report. Oh.
I'll move that we receive and file 5A.
5A.
I'll do a second.
Come on, get brave, buddy.
Well, I'm sitting there and waiting, and
I'm like, you moved first.
Vote to receive and file item 5A, Special Events Subcommittee Report. Commissioner Holder,
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Porter, Vice Chair Boersma,
Yes.
and Chair Guru.
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Now we'll get to number B, Senior and Human Services Subcommittee Report.
I will get through this best I can. Alejandra is not here tonight, so I apologize for that. The Senior Center continues to provide services to the public via telephone and email. While the Senior Center remains closed to the public, the following services remain available to senior participants. First off, we have Riverside County Office on Aging Senior Congregate Meal Program. That does continue. The seniors do get a week's worth of frozen meals each Friday. A total of 267 seniors were provided meals through the Senior Lunch Program in November, and 399 participants in December. In addition to those meals, we'd like to thank the Norco Rotary Club, who sponsored warm meals for the Thanksgiving and Christmas for the seniors. It was prepared and prepackaged by Sodexo Meal Service, who also provides the congregate meal service at the Senior Center normally. A total of 214 seniors received Thanksgiving and holiday meals. A heartfelt thank you again is extended to Norco Rotary Club for their generous donation. And then another important component to the Senior Center is the Seniors on the Move transportation program that continues, and it serves the Norco resident seniors, Norco resident military veterans, and the disabled. In order to improve the service during the COVID-19 pandemic, the following measures have been put into place to ensure the safety of the participant and the driver alike. We are following the public health guidelines from CDC and CDPH. We do require riders and employees to stay home if they have been exposed to COVID or if they feel ill. Requiring self-conducted symptom screenings and temperature checks for all of our drivers and program staff is accomplished every day. And we also require symptoms and screening and temperature checks for all riders. We limit the vehicle capacity to ensure social distancing that can be maintained, and we do require all riders to wear face masks at all times. We have retrofitted the shuttles with plexiglass cough guards to protect the drivers and the riders, and hand sanitizer dispensers have been installed in all transportation vehicles. Thirdly, we continue to be a warm center during periods of excessive cold when temperatures reach 40 degrees or lower. When activated, the hours of operation are as follows: Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 12 noon to 5 p.m. The cold weather advisories and warm centers are services offered by the City of Norco in conjunction with the Community Action Partnership of Riverside County Department of Public Health, Riverside County Fire Department, Community Connect, and the American Red Cross. And if you remember, we also do that in the summertime as cool centers. Phil, the ice machine is installed. And the senior center staff is very anxious to get the senior center opened again so that they can utilize that and actually have special events for the seniors once again. I would like to let you know that donations that were secured for the senior center and earmarked covered the expense of the ice machine.
Good.
We have partnered with the American Red Cross. The senior center will continue to host blood drives until senior programming resumes at the center. The next scheduled blood drive is on March 30th, 2020. And I'd like to tell you the unique thing about this blood drive from the American Red Cross is that they're doing a procedure that will identify antibodies for COVID here and will notify the donor. Inland County's Legal Services resumes to provide legal assistance to seniors. All service provided at this time is strictly over the phone. Another over-the-phone service that is provided to seniors is HICAP, and that's Health Insurance Counseling Advocacy Program, and they continue to provide non-biased health insurance counseling for seniors. Senior Center staff continues to update the Senior Center newsletter on a monthly basis to include pertinent resources for seniors, cooking recipes, exercises, riddles, and more. Copies of the newsletter and activity packets are available online and are also delivered to Heritage Park Apartments, Clark Terrace Housing, Senior Housing, and Valencia Terrace for distribution, and also provided to congregate meal participants on the first Friday of every month. The Senior Center Garden is still open for cultivators, which provides them with healthy and therapeutic exercise as well as additional food. And the Senior Center staff has been working diligently on improving the Senior Center Garden with some projects, including painting the gazebo, the shed, lockers, clearing out gardens for seniors, repairing planters with assistance of the building staff, and has added additional water sources to 2 additional gardens. And you see those pictures in the back on the last page for the senior garden. And every time we go for a walk on break, we always see seniors cultivating out there. It's really nice to see them out there. So, any questions on the senior report?
Just a quick comment again on the ice machine. I really want to thank staff for proceeding, getting that taken care of. I know we won't be using it a lot during the winter, but during the summer I would expect it to be used quite heavily. I am interested to get over there and see it myself to see if it's going to do what I'm hoping it was intended to do.
Staff believes that it is sufficient for their use that they need for their special events. And if you'd like to go over there anytime, give Alejandra a call and she'll open the doors and welcome you in. She can show you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, second.
Well, if we have a second, I'll make a motion that we approve to receive and file.
Second and motion. We're having a good time here.
Always fun.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, I was doing my minutes. Excuse me.
We threw you
All
off.
right, yeah. All right, vote to approve item 5B, the Senior and Human Services update. Commissioner Holder,
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Porter,
Yes.
Vice Chair Boersma, and Chair Guru.
Yes.
All right, motion passed, thank you.
Okay. Item 6, Director Discussion Items. Measure R, CIP Update.
Thank you. Deputy City Manager Petrie provided a detailed overview of project at our last meeting. Due to the holidays and COVID, progress slowed down a bit, but staff is continuing the effort to keep all projects moving forward. The following are current updates. Fire Station 57 bay doors, that's a CIP project, is completed. City Hall Sheriff Station improvements, which is successor agency and Measure R funding. The project is 95% complete. New badge readers are working and all the new video cameras are operational with staff being trained on the video camera software last week. Phase 2, which is being used with the Measure R funds on this project, final counter designs are underway by the architect. Next project is AC unit swamp coolers. That's through Measure R. Final documents are being compiled so we can go out to bid again within the next 2 weeks. Citywide roof project, which was Measure R, is 99% complete. We will be going to City Council for notice of completion in February. Riley Gym Scout House parking lot, a Measure R project. Plans have been completed. We're making the final adjustments to the RFP, and we hope to be out to bid within the next 2 weeks. ADA assessment, again another Measure R project. The consultant has begun evaluation and is gathering information from staff to assist with their assessment. The pool demolition, Measure R project. City Council approved award of contract on December 16th. The pre-construction meeting is set for next week on January 20th. The pole barns, Measure R project. Final design is underway. Pole field sports light replacement, Measure R project. The award of contract by City Council was on 9/2 of 20, and we will be scheduling pre-construction meeting. The Riley Gym renovation project, which is Measure R. The architectural design and engineering services contract has been signed. The consultant will begin evaluation and is gathering information from staff to assist with the project RFP. I'd like to let you know Brian and staff would like to engage the commission and discuss future projects for the next round of Measure R funding that's going to be coming up. Ideally, we would like to set up small workshops to brainstorm possible projects and prioritizing them. More information on this will be forwarded to commission within the next 2 weeks. Any questions on those?
Just one question, and I may have missed it while I was making some notes here. The trail fencing that's going through, and I think it's Snipes Park, there at 5th and Hamner. I guess Public Works is handling most of the trail fencing, but do you know any idea when that might be going in?
Todd,
I'm not even sure if they got it.
I can check with them tomorrow and I can email you if that's
because
fine.
I wasn't even sure if it had gotten the bid approval yet on it, so.
They just started the project. I think they're on first. I don't know when the actual Nielsen is going to take place, but they did start.
Oh, they have started.
They have started. I talked to Public Works today. They said on First. I'm trying to remember the First Street. I'm trying to think of Cross Street. I can't remember, but I believe it's a different contractor than in the past. Actually, somebody we've never used. But it's all encompassed, so I think it's so far so well.
Okay.
Any other comments? That takes us to item 7, staff and commission comments. And we'll go with Patty because she's like the far one in the crowd.
I just want to take a moment to thank Shane Porter, who is our commissioner, but a volunteer up at Ingalls, and he spent I don't know how many hours working on every single little twinkle light on the, 11-year-old Decrolite system. And some of them didn't have any bulbs at all. Some had wiring that's been cut. Tape was stuck to him trying to find out where cords went. Things were rewired, and he did not quit, put it back together, and I want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. It turned out very well. And of course, park staff, making sure everything got plugged in and worked. Can't help our little visitors that decide to rearrange cords on us, but I want to say thank you. He does a great job.
Thank you. Melvin?
Do not have anything. Thank you.
All right. Todd?
I'm good myself, thank you. I just appreciate the support from everybody who's reached out over the last 3 weeks. Been stuck at home with COVID, so all 3 kids, wife are good, so thank you for the
That's the
support.
most important. Michelle?
I've talked enough tonight. Thank you.
Robin? Okay. Corinne?
No, everyone's done just an amazing job, and we always like to, I love this commission and I love our staff because they always work so hard, and we try to do everything we can do. And as a commissioner, I feel we've had a really light year. There are so many things that I normally do that we could not go out and do. But staff took the initiative and they just went as much all out as they could do to have entertaining things going on all year, even if it was online or finding something in the park and visiting parks and doing things outside and challenging people to get up and get out and do something besides sit at home. So 2020 was a very interesting year, and hopefully we will not repeat it. Hopefully we'll get out of this shortly. But as usual, staff has always done an amazing job, and I think commissioners are just waiting here to do a really good job and get back out there and help you out too. So thank you.
Shane?
Push the button first. No comments to make. It's good working with you guys so far. It was my 3rd meeting, and then I know most all the staff out there from just years in the city, so just looking forward to another productive year and making Norco better.
Bill?
And yeah, I have a couple of items. One, first of all, I'd like to thank staff for following up on a request that I had received from the public on the gate leading down into the Nature Center Park down there underneath the freeway. That they're at Woodard and River Drive. That gate had been damaged or whatever, and I guess Brian was able to find out who was responsible for the repair of it because it was repaired quickly, and I received comment back from the public saying thank you, so I wanted to pass that along. The other thing that I needed to find out from Brian, but he's not here, but maybe Michelle will have an answer, is that is it RTC that was doing the construction on the freeway? Is there when the widening on the freeway? I think it is, but I know that they were trying to get in touch with someone from the city to sign off on the trail crossing that's underneath the freeway, and I don't know if they ever got anybody, Ryan or somebody, to sign off on it, but now they have now opened the trail up to public use. So just FYI, I knew that was something that needed to be done, but I was asked to follow up on that, so that's what I'm doing. The other item that I had was the Ingalls Equestrian Center. I have had thank yous from riders that are using that, where even though they're very limited as to the number of people who can go up there and use it, they are very appreciative of being able to get in there, and I just wanted to pass that along to you guys too. I guess that was the 3 items that I had.
Jason?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I just want to say thank you to staff and commission. This is a brand new year to start, so let's hopefully it goes better than last year and we keep on trucking through this and get a lot of stuff accomplished while we can.
Okay. So I took a little field trip down to the river crossing. I'm very pleased at the amount of rocks that they put in that piling pipe. That was a super huge concern to me. I'm sure that's going to change the flow, make some eddies, make some deep spots, but that pipe is covered up dandy. So I want to thank the staff, all the staff, for all your hard work throughout the year and all your unseen toils. So with that, anybody else have anything else? Then I'll close this meeting at 7:33. March 15th, 2021, next meeting. Thank you, everybody.